You can hear from what Sean's saying that the 10x5 is a great little coil for that target separation, those areas where you need to get in amongst that maneuverability because there's lots of rocky areas and maybe overgrown bush. And then the 15-inch, great for open ground, covering a lot of ground, searching deeper as well, but still has good performance characteristics. And the 14x9, good elliptical size, a bit bigger than the stock coil, so you're covering a bit more ground, still can punch deep and have good sensitivity. Probably, like you said before, Sean, the 14x9 would be a really good one for water hunters.
Yeah, again, everything's got its place. The 14x9 for me would be on the beach when you're wading and you want that little bit of extra ground cover, and it's got some waves because of the weight. It's able to go in the water effortlessly. You're not going to have that drag, maybe with, let's say, some other coils. It's just a great all-around coil for water and land.
So do you use the same type of settings for each coil? Do you change your settings much when you change between, say, a 10x5 and 15-inch?
One of the things you can do with a larger coil is you can back down, and I do it on the smaller coil, but it depends on the site and the conditions of the site, what dictate your settings on your metal detector. But let's say if you're using the 15-inch coil and you're getting a little bit of ground noise, you can back off on that sensitivity and you're not going to lose any depth because of the size of the coil.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And also the one site I was working in the UK with a lot of iron and a lot of coke in the ground, I backed down the sensitivity down to 21 to 20. And we're still getting great depth with that coil. And it's, I use the analogy, you don't use your brights when it's foggy when you're driving, right? You've got to, if you're in dense fog, you don't have the high beams on your car lights on because you can't see anything.
It reflects too much. Yeah.
So you put your low beams on, you can see. It's the same type of analogy. You want to sometimes back down on that sensitivity to be able to get through all of that iron. Because if you're going full sensitivity, you're getting a lot of falsing and you're missing some of those targets. So you want to back down on the sensitivity. And, I find I can do that with a 15-inch round. I feel that I'm not losing depth, and I'm able to back off on the sensitivity and recover targets that maybe the other coils missed.
And that's a really, really good point, that, you don't have to go flat out all the time when you are, using the larger coil. You can back off a little bit and not lose too much. That's a really valid point, because a lot of people think they've got to have that sensitivity right up all the time, otherwise they're missing stuff. But what they're doing is bringing more noise in as well and more frustration. So, getting it nice and quiet is a really, really good idea.
Yeah, having the coils, having your detector stable to where it's able to read the ground is probably one of the most important things you can do. But again, I feel the Coiltek coils that complement the machine, and you're able to back down a little bit on that sensitivity, a little bit more than maybe some other coils, and still get that good depth and sensitivity out of it.
That's brilliant. And so when you first got the coils and attached them to the shaft and the look of them and how, how they've worked for you, how do you feel the strength of them and the robustness? Have you, found that that's been a good aspect?
Yeah, you actually beat me to it. I was going to mention that. The quality of the product, just in case where you attach the coil to the shaft, the ears of the coil are just so much thicker, and they're reinforced in the design of it. You don't have that feeling that they're going to break. And I've never broken an ear off of one of your coils. So, they're made to be out in the field and to be worked in rough terrain.
Yeah, that's really a big part that we looked at when we were designing, especially the 10x5 as well. Wanted to make sure that those ears are good, because we can all appreciate how frustrating it is if something like that goes pear-shaped when you're out in the field looking forward to your hunt and something is a catastrophic malfunction. So we've had very, very, very minimal coils returned or commented on because of breakages. And sometimes we get people that break them or they break out in the field, we find that we do tell people don't use your shaft as a way to get back up off the ground. If, you know, especially if we're, you know, we got struggling with a bit of knees or hips, or, you know, we're, you know, the up and down thing can fatigue you a little bit. For our older generation out there that love detecting, we love that, but holding the shaft and sort of pushing yourself up will just make that shaft go out of level and out, so it's not perpendicular, and it starts to put too much pressure on the wings, and then you can get a snap there. So just remember to try and not put too much pressure, sideways pressure, because yeah, they're quite robust, but they're not designed for shovels. So really important.
And also the wiring, where the wiring meets the coil, it's reinforced. You don't, you know, I've had some coils in the past from other manufacturers where you get the faulting or the short because it's not protected, where the wire goes into the coil, and if you bang it a couple times or something, it can fray the inside wiring, and all of a sudden you're getting faulting. I've noticed with Coiltek coils that it's just reinforced right there, and it really alleviates that problem.
Yeah, keep it nice and strong. Well, we do offer a 2-year warranty, so if anyone does have any issues within that 2 year of purchase, we certainly look after you as quickly as possible. But we are designing them to put them through their paces. We do understand, you know, whether you're relic hunting or gold hunting, some conditions can be quite extreme. So it's just a matter of trying to make sure you look after your equipment, you know, like you would if you've got maybe a digital camera or your iPhone and that, you know, you still look after it. It's still a bit of an electronic equipment. So you want to treat it well, look out for any cracks or fatigue or anything like that. Check your kit before you go. Do you have like a routine before you go out, you know, to make sure that you've got everything right?
Yeah, I always check my equipment. I mean, number one, I always clean my equipment after use.
Yeah.
So I look at the condition of the equipment after I've been out in the field. And then I always make sure my, you know, I put some extra, because of some of the areas that I hunt, I put some protective wire coating on top of it, so it kind of protects it from, let's say, brush or anything nicking the wire. So I've got an added protection around the
Good idea.
coil cover there, but it just helps with the wear, because some of the areas I go into, I've got palm fronds that are sharp as razors, and they can cut right through the wire that's going around the shaft to the NOX. So I try to, you know, eliminate as much as I can with regards to any problems before I get out into the field. But yeah, I always double check my equipment. Always make sure, I always like to have backups of backups. So I always have 2 pairs of headphones. I've always got more than one coil in the car in case one goes down. You know, again, my go-tos are the 10x5 and the 15-inch coil. They're always in my car with me in case I get into a situation where I need something for a different approach to a site. So I've got the equipment with me, and I'll even backpack them in with me, you know, when I'm going. I'll take this, one beautiful thing about the small coils, I can throw it in my backpack, and if I need it, I've got it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So sort of wrapping this up a little bit, tell me what your favorite Coiltek coil is on the Equinox and why.
I'd have to say my favorite coil is a 10x5 at the moment. And the reason being, it's the versatility of this coil. I'm able to take this coil out to England, Scotland, use it in different situations where, you know, you've got a lot of targets in the ground and I want that target separation. But the main use that I use it here is for old colonial sites that have a lot of iron content in it, and you need that extra target separation, and you need the, you know, it's where you start micro hunting a site, and you know the stuff's there, but now you need a piece of equipment where it's able to, you know, separate the treasure from the trash. And so that is one of my favorite coils. And I have to say that 15-inch round is another favorite coil of mine, just because it's solid, stable, got great depth to it. And I know if I've gone over an area with, let's say, some stock coils, I know I've got that added depth to it with regards to detecting a site again with a different coil. I've got that added depth and have that opportunity to maybe recover some targets that I missed by.
Oh, that's excellent. I would concur with those words as well. And can people find and follow you on any of the socials at all? Do you sort of post anywhere? Because we do get a really
I've got
good amount
a
of content.
Instagram. I'm not really big on social media. Everyone was telling me I need to get on YouTube, but I do have an Instagram site called Hunting for History, and it's hunting number 4 and then history, and that's on Instagram. And what I'll do is I'll showcase some of the products that I use, why I use them, and I'll showcase the targets that were recovered by those products. And so it's mainly Minelab and Coiltek that are on my site, because it's basically all I use.
Yeah, we get some excellent content from you. Some great pictures. We always love seeing what you find. You're very happy to impart some knowledge as well, which is fantastic with this industry, having people like yourself in the industry who are more than willing just to chat to people and tell people what you do to try and help them as well, because detectors don't find anything in the cupboard or in the garage just sitting there. And if people have any questions, they can be easily answered by the right people. So that's great. Hunting for number 4 history on Instagram.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, excellent. Well, thanks, Sean. That's some excellent information there. We really, really appreciate your time. I know it's evening time in your time and early morning in mine, but we do appreciate you spending an hour with us tonight to make sure that we can talk about these coils. The NOX coils have been out for over 12 months now, and we've had some really good, successful stories from many people, but we really enjoy seeing what you find. You can see some of Sean's information. He's also on our website, on our main page there, so you can see him smiling back at you when you land on our website. But we've got some stories and things from him as well listed onto our website. So hit us up at coiltek.com.au. Sean, once again, thank you very much.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. A pleasure. Always a pleasure talking with you and talking about one of the brands that I love to showcasing you. So I thank you, Trevor. Pleasure.
Oh, no problems. We appreciate it, and maybe we'll hit you up again in a year's time and see what other bucket of finds you've got there. So really appreciate it. Thanks, Sean.
Mate. A pleasure, mate.
And thanks everyone for watching. I know that there's a lot of people out there using the Coiltek product. We definitely appreciate your support. Keep swinging out there. Check us up on our socials, on Facebook, through the website. We're always around, so send us a question if you have one. Good luck with your hunting out there. Go the NOX coils, and we've got some new stuff coming out soon. So appreciate your time. Thanks everyone. See ya.